Hello there, welcome back to the Ogre, the old Git Reacts, Reviews and Off Times Reminiscences. Today we're doing a form of music that I very rarely listen to because very rarely does it resonate with me, but every now and again somebody does it in a way which does get under the skin, and today is a case in point now. Pronunciation wise, sometimes I just don't mention the band name rather than insult them. And sometimes I try and find out how it's pronounced, and I did so with this band here, or this artist rather. And on Google, there's about 5 different pronunciations of it. So I'm going to go with a woman who's named Husky, as Sgáile. Now that's probably wrong as well, because she said, well, I don't know. It's the music that counts, so let's have a listen to, as I say, a form of music which isn't really my thing, but this artist does it in a way which does intrigue me somewhat. So let's crack on, shall we? Yes, we shall. So far, there's nothing not to like, is there? It's got that build and those melodies, and excuse me. This artist is Scottish and is weaving in that sense of the Highlands and that part of the world. And no surprise, really, given his association with other Scottish artists. But you know. Every now and again we do that geolocator thing on here, guess where the music's from, and I would have laid my whole week's wages, if I still worked, on this band being from Scotland, this artist being from Scotland. So it's building the moment, that's for sure. Excuse me if I keep coughing, I'll just come out of the winter lurgy. Normally, if I heard ohs in metal music, you wouldn't see my ears for dust. I'll be out of here. And on a wider note, clean singing in metal just doesn't do it for me either. With very few rare exceptions. This being a case in point. Now, the voice here is again clean singing that I wouldn't touch with a barge pole. I'd be running out of the room normally rather than listen to it. But there's always exceptions, and something about the voice here that ingratiates itself with me against all odds, really, because it shouldn't for my listening preferences. And I do wonder whether it's sort of womb music, sort of recognising a tone from when I was very young, when the first progressive bands were coming out, and occasionally there would be songs on the radio that weren't particularly progressive, but had a vocal that did sort of resonate. I don't know, but for some reason this doesn't repulse me in a way that most, or nearly all the time, such clean singing would. But of course, it is a very nice or effective counterpoint to when things are rattling along, when you've got a purer sound than the grate of the guitar. Whatever. Not that there's much abrasive about this. The music here, it's quite I won't say polished, but it doesn't snag you in a barbed wire sense like most of the music I listen to does. And I suppose that comes down to the fact it is on the progressive metal side, and it has that a folky element to it as well. So the guitar's there, the lead guitar anyway, it's almost like a skirl. It's almost as if you wouldn't go amiss by replacing it with a bagpipe. But gazing as I am at the album cover here, you'd be forgiven just by the artwork alone, without hearing the music, that we would be in for something quite moody and perhaps dour. and it's quite opposite really. The whole album is sounds quite upbeat and perky, regardless of whatever the subject matter of the lyrics are. Because as I've said many times before, I don't listen to lyrics, so I'm not interested in lyrical content nowadays. Whether that's a product of age, I don't know, but I don't know. But anyway, suffice to say, this is a bright album. If you could, relative to the artwork, at any rate. So yes, so the motifs are there. They are evocative of Scotland, and as I say, if you like your ooze, you'll get your money's worth on this particular song. Almost anathema-esque here. So I listen to a lot of music, which is a bit more ragged around the edges to this, at least. But you know, sometimes the music I listen to, the way it's produced and the way it's played, belies the capability of the artist. So you know, whoever it is, be a single artist or a band when they're playing, could be virtuosos, but the way they play the music. Who knows? But here you can see there's a musician at work here, and quite a very accomplished one, not quite. I evidence that by the fact that despite the elements that make up this music being by and large ones that I don't like, the whole I find very gratifying, and as I say, if the clean singing can keep me there, then there's something good about this. And a lot of it's to do with the flow, I think. I mean, there was a bit just now which was a bit more subdued than the general tone of this song, but by and large, as I say, it is bright and it is uplifting. Although I don't sound Scottish, both my parents were. I'm a product of a military family, so spent very little living time in Scotland. But nonetheless, the ancestral the ancestral strings are being plucked here to some degree, and I think that helps making this music more palatable for me. Not that it's unpalatable in its normal sense, just that, as I say, this form of music doesn't normally sink in with me. But here, oh yes, it's working a treat. Anyway, later on to the end now, because why not? So there you go, plenty of drama there, that's for sure. So this album's just dropped, and the reason my interest was piqued was there was a pre-release track which I heard this very one, which got my interest. So a word of warning for those of you that like this and are contemplating the album: listen to it. I'm sure you would do anyway, but listen to it in its entirety, because there are tracks on there that aren't quite as much of a rally as that, and are more contemplative and not quite as metal maybe as that one is. But that isn't necessarily a bad thing. It depends on your taste in music, and I might still buy this album. There's half of the tracks on here that I do like, and I just need to listen to it a couple of more times to see if the ones that haven't really meshed with me, whether they scratch or itches when I listen to them again. But yes, stirring stuff, and many a time I'll say, it's a story, or some sorts of music tell a story, and there's certainly a tale to be told, or being told there, well worth you having a further listen if you're interested, piqued. Anyway, clicky bollocks, catch you next time. Cheerio.